Hi Ellen. I heard your son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at age 1 in 1989. Why are you still advocating for all things diabetes in 2010? Isn't he an adult now? Shouldn't he take over the job?
Hi Joe Citizen, I'm glad you asked that question. My son has endured lancing his fingers and arms to draw blood around 60,000 times so far in his 23 years of life, and countless injections of insulin as well. He must continue to do this and attempt to manage, I use that word loosely for lack of a better term, the diabetes by juggling exercise, stress, food, insulin, hormones, etc. That's enough of a job for him. As a mother, I feel it's my responsibility to advocate for cure-focused research and prevention of type 1 diabetes. Also, since I know others with various types of diabetes, including but not limited to LATA, type 2, gestational, and monogenic, I advocate for them as well. It's a lot of work to take care of diabetes 24/7, 365. And unfortunately there's a lot of misinformation published daily about diabetes spread through media.
What means do you use to advocate? What else is out there for others to do the same, or something similar?
It all depends upon in what areas of advocacy you would like to participate. First of all, you should know who your government representatives are and it's important to meet with, write or call their staff to express the need for increased funding for research, education, and medical care for all types of diabetes. Put those phone numbers in your mobile device and use your voice often. They don't know what you feel is important as a constituent if you don't let them know.
I've never called or met with a government representative. That's a great idea. I'll use Google to find my local and U.S. senators and congressional representatives. And I'll put the White House phone number in my cell phone right now too. Would you be so kind as to provide other suggestions for involvement too?
It's important to survey the research that is being pursued and to support what you perceive to be the most promising. I am the Vice President of the Children with Diabetes Foundation, and our organization's mission is to fund research leading to human clinical trials that are safe, efficacious, and will be affordable for the masses of people who will need a cure for prevention of type 1 diabetes. You can learn more about the research we are funding at www.cwdfoundation.org. Additionally, our family has been actively raising money and awareness of the fine research taking place at the DRI, the Diabetes Research Institute in Miami, Florida. You can learn more by going to their website www.diabetesresearch.org. If you like, you can specify to which research area you would like your donations to go.
I read something about your husband's involvement with DRI. Can you share something about that?
If you work for a company that has an annual United Way campaign drive, you can specify that your charitable payroll deduction be directed to the Diabetes Research Institute Foundation. My husband, Jeffrey Ullman, works for IBM in the United States, and our family is very grateful to the IBM United States employees who have thus far, via payroll deduction, contributed over $400,000 to the DRI Foundation over the years.
Wow, I never knew you can give directly to one area of research or to a specific institute. I always thought it was necessary to give to the big well-known organizations and let them allocate the money as they see fit. I am going to have to learn more and will do my research. What areas of research interest you the most at the moment?
I am particularly excited about the research for a bioartificial pancreas using encapsulated porcine or pig islets to restore normal glycemia. I like this research because it will not require any mechanical devices that with continued purchases of expensive consumables like pumps, tubing, insulin, sensors, receivers, etc., which will need to be replaced and will not be affordable for most people with type 1 diabetes in the world. While I am supportive of industry advancing technology and I'm glad it is moving forward, I do not see it as a long-term solution. I want a biological solution. I believe money should be invested heavily in encapsulation technology and techniques, and we can use the plethora of pig islets that are available until such a time that glucose-responsive, insulin-producing cells can be developed in the lab. This does not represent a cure either, but it does seem to be a best alternative at restoring normal glycemia. I'm excited by the work being done by LCT and separately by the work being done at the Diabetes Research Institute and elsewhere in the world.
That's all news to me. I never heard the word porcine before, and didn't know they are even trying to use pigs' islet cells for humans. I'll Google that too to learn more. How do you feel about the monoclonal antibody and other drug therapies that are being used in clinical trials in children newly diagnosed?
I believe it's a very personal decision for any parent to choose to place their child into a clinical trial. To me at the moment, there is not a single drug that I feel we know enough about with respect to long-term safety and efficacy to put in a child into a clinical trial for newly diagnosed type 1 diabetes. I am very concerned about the long-term unknowns. That is not to say I am correct. One Cochrane group is currently doing a meta-analysis of adverse events in children using certain medications approved for arthritis, including but not limited to TNF-alpha inhibitors. To me, the risks are too great to subject children newly diagnosed with type 1 diabetes to these drugs without the indication for juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. Again, I may be wrong. That is just my personal belief, and I am looking forward to seeing the published Cochrane review of the evidence in the future.
That's a lot to think about. Of course, a parent would want to change the course of the disease process if possible. I guess in every clinical trial there are unknowns, and it's the only way research can progress, and one has to weigh the potential benefits and risks. Moving back to advocacy, in what other ways do you reach others when you say you spread awareness?
I use Twitter, Facebook, Children with Diabetes website, Present Diabetes, and LinkedIn to share news and research items, and enjoy reading blogs and sharing the bloggers' posts with others online and via instant messaging and email. Earlier this year I presented before the FDA the consumer's need for increased accuracy with blood glucose meters. Please continue to urge the FDA to require better standards and improved accuracy from manufacturers and to devise test strips that if the strip cannot be read accurately, it should not provide any reading at all. A false blood glucose number can be much worse than none at all. People who have diabetes and our loved ones with diabetes must demand accuracy in order to impact change. Additionally, if you have a problem with a device or medication, be sure to notify FDA, not just the manufacturer.
For those who do not know much about Twitter, how do you communicate with people there about diabetes?
Keep a column open with the hashtag diabetes. Follow people who have a sincere interest in diabetes and provide accurate information. Interesting tweets are retweeted by others. There is a wonderful diabetes online community known affectionately as the DOC. The people of the DOC send tweets to one another. If we see someone with a child newly diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, or an adult newly diagnosed with any form of diabetes, or simply a person struggling with this chronic illness, we welcome him or her and offer support. We also are notified of new blog posts and we read them and share them. Look for the hashtag #blog. Many people also participate in the fantastic diabetes social media advocacy chats on Wednesday nights on Twitter at 9 p.m. Eastern. #DSMA. It's a great way to get to know new people and get the very necessary emotional support of living with or supporting a loved one with diabetes. No one in 2010 need feel alone with diabetes. The DOC is a model of patient support and chronic disease and uses social media in the very best way today. Also, Children with Diabetes holds the Fabulous Friends for Life conference every summer in Orlando, Florida, and they are increasing the events for adults, so this summer hopefully many of the DOC will meet at CWD. Learn more at childrenwithdiabetes.com.
Is there anything else I should know about diabetes awareness since it is November and this is designated Diabetes Awareness Month?
Know that you have power in your voice and in your words. You can effect change. The worst thing anyone can do is to simply be silent. Learn all you can about diabetes if you know anyone with this chronic illness. Do not assume the role of diabetes police. Be a loving and supportive friend or relative to others. Ask directly how you can best support that person. Scrutinize what you read about diabetes. Finally, please advocate and raise money for research to prevent and cure all forms of diabetes. The world is depending on you to do your part. Thank you.